The groom was smiling when the music stopped, not the planned pause, not the emotional beat before vows. A hard stop. The room froze. 200 guests turned toward the altar as the projector behind them flickered back on, something no one had scheduled. The best man was already holding the microphone. Calm, too calm. This won't take long, he said. I promise. The bride's hand tightened around the groom's. The groom, Daniel, felt immediately that sharp, instinctive dread that hits before your brain understands why. On the screen behind them, a video began to play. Not a slideshow, not memories. A hotel hallway, a timestamp, and Daniel's own voice, recorded years earlier, saying something he had never told anyone in that room. The guests shifted. Whispers rippled outward. Daniel turned toward his best friend, Ethan, the man who had stood beside him since college. Ethan didn't look back. He was watching the screen. Like this was the moment he'd been waiting for. And suddenly Daniel understood something far worse than betrayal was unfolding. This wasn't an accident. This was a plan. For 15 years, Daniel and Ethan were inseparable. College roommates. Business partners once. Best friends always. Ethan knew Daniel better than anyone, his weaknesses, his blind spots, the version of him he never showed publicly. That was why Daniel chose him as best man, without hesitation. No one questioned it. Not the bride, Lena. Not the families. Not the guests. But in the months leading up to the wedding, things shifted. Small things. Ethan canceled late-night calls. Stopped joking the way he used to. Started asking strange questions about the prenup, about timelines, about when certain decisions had been made. Daniel brushed it off. Stress. Wedding chaos. Life. But there were moments, quiet ones, where Ethan would look at Lena with something unreadable in his expression. Not attraction. Assessment. And when Daniel asked if everything was okay, Ethan always smiled and said, "Of course. Wouldn't miss this for the world." The sentence sounded supportive, but something in the way he said this made it feel like a warning. Back at the altar, the video continued. The timestamp read 7 years earlier. Daniel's voice played clearly. "I don't love her," the recording said. "I just need this to work." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Lena's face drained of color. Daniel lunged toward the projector table. But Ethan raised his hand. "Please," he said, "let it finish." Another clip, another voice. Daniel again, talking about timing, optics, image, not infidelity. Something colder, something calculated. Daniel turned, furious. "Turn it off." Ethan finally looked at him. "You don't remember saying it," Ethan replied. "That's the problem." The room felt smaller. Every guest leaned forward, sensing that this wasn't just embarrassment. This was exposure. Years earlier, before Lena existed, Ethan had been in love with Maya. Quiet, private, brilliant. She and Daniel had worked together briefly. Long enough for Daniel to see opportunity. He encouraged Ethan to pursue her, helped plan dates, offered advice. And then, behind Ethan's back, Daniel leveraged a personal vulnerability Maya had shared to secure a critical business advantage, a move that destroyed her career trajectory. Maya disappeared soon after. Ethan never asked Daniel about it, never accused him. He just listened and recorded every offhand comment, every rationalization. Every time Daniel admitted, privately, that relationships were tools. Ethan didn't confront him. He waited, because revenge wasn't about anger. It was about timing. The final video clip ended. Silence. Then Ethan spoke again. "There's something else." The screen switched to legal documents. Trust structures. Ownership charts. Lena's name appeared. She wasn't just marrying Daniel. She was merging assets. Assets Daniel had secretly positioned himself to control, using a clause Ethan had quietly flagged years earlier and never mentioned. A clause that transferred leverage under specific moral violations, which this qualified as. Lena turned slowly. "What is he talking about?" Daniel opened his mouth. No sound came out, because Ethan had already sent the files. To her lawyer, to the board, to the family office. The wedding wasn't just collapsing. Daniel's future was. This wasn't about Lena. It wasn't even about Daniel's lies. It was about consequences. Ethan never wanted Daniel's public humiliation. He wanted something cleaner. Permanent. The recordings weren't illegal. The clause wasn't hidden. Daniel had signed everything himself, confident no one would ever challenge him, because he trusted Ethan. That was a final mistake. Ethan placed the microphone down. "I told you once," he said quietly, "that some people don't deserve loyalty." Then he walked away. No applause, no shouting, just the sound of a wedding unraveling in real time. Daniel stood alone at the altar, not exposed as a cheater, exposed as a strategist who forgot someone was watching. Some betrayals are loud, others are surgical. Daniel lost more than a marriage that day. He lost the illusion that intelligence protects you from accountability. Ask yourself, would you have noticed the warning signs, or trusted the wrong person too long? If you're drawn to stories that reveal what people are truly capable of when patience replaces rage, subscribe. The next story goes even deeper.